Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm straight.
It doesn't have the same effect when I'm not sandwiched between two straight people.
I mean, it's still true though.
It's still allegedly. So both Jason and Leo happen to be out because, like I said last episode, Jason is on tour and Leo is at Coachella.
He's back
in China. For those of you who don't know, this is the show where I make my straight friends watch RuPaul's Drag Race. This is their first season of Drag Race. As usual, thank you so much to Delta Nutra for sponsoring the show. They specialize in making Essential 82, which helps with Asian glow and with just liver issues in general.
Was there any workroom drama in the beginning in this one? Not as much.
No,
right?
Not really. I don't really know if we need to get into the sitting challenge.
The sitting secret challenge. I mean, it was funny,
yeah,
I guess.
Like, it's not like a fashion or like a look type thing.
I forget who won, but they guessed like
Asia.
It was Asia, right?
Yeah.
So Asia guessed most of them correct, and that's like...
It could have been anybody because you could have just edited together and said someone else won.
Right, here's the rest of the challenge, which is the DragCon.
Right, which I have mixed feelings about because, like, what do you think, Andrew? Because like, when I first heard it, I was like, these bitches, they specifically timed the release so that way it's right before DragCon.
Yeah, I mean, that's clever, obviously. That's smart marketing right there. That's RuPaul plugging himself. Could you say that it's like a cheap ploy? Absolutely. Does it work? Also, absolutely. So
yeah, no, I have to say that it still works. Like,
right.
like it fits within everything, and like, you do have to be good at like hosting and being a personality, like live personality.
I think the only issue I would have with it is
Sure.
if it took away from the actual show. And it didn't. I think they did a good job of incorporating DragCon into the framework that is Drag Race.
I did roll my eyes when I heard that, like, oh, it's another team challenge. Great.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how they were allowed to pick their own teams this time.
Yeah, that induced a lot of anxiety for me because I'm familiar with Cameron's anxiety where, like, you feel really uncomfortable being assertive, and so sometimes you're just kind of like the leftovers.
Right, and like, I mean, we've all been there, right? And like in recess, like being picked last to join a team, and that feeling kind of sucks. So
I'm glad that we finally got some of Cameron's story.
Yeah, like how he got into bodybuilding, and then like that took away from the drag, and then after the relationship broke up, like went back into drag, but trying it as a body queen.
Right,
and,
to
like,
trying to do both.
I'm excited to see where they take Cameron, because I've been rooting for her for, you know, since the beginning.
Any other notes about the proportion panel?
Proportionizing! Always the editing, right? The editing made it seem like this was all gonna be a joke, and it's gonna be like a, you know, like it's gonna go off the rails, it's gonna be terrible, and like it was really awesome to see them pull it through.
I think that's a great transition into the makeup one. I thought that the makeup one was pretty good. I didn't think that Aquaria like tripped up as much as everybody thought that she was going to.
What was that one part? It was like, you know, you just gotta do yourself, so like fuck everybody else. And I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, but like, okay, but do you not feel like that was editing? Because
no, that's exactly what I was gonna do.
Okay,
that was
okay.
absolutely editing, because we saw that in like coming up next after the thing, right?
It cuts to a white dude like, like,
then when she actually says the line during the panel, like nobody gave a shit. It's like, come on, editors.
Aquaria and Asia were doing this thing where they were alternating instructions, and I was like, wait, what? I don't.
You just kind of get lost.
Yeah,
right?
no, like I didn't retain anything that they said.
No.
I don't know in what world they thought that was a good idea.
Like, let one finish and then start the other. Like having that interjection back and forth, it just makes it super confusing.
Can you imagine going to a class and then like, hey, so we're just gonna combine, you know, like sociology and engineering together. Professor so-and-so is talking about the oppression of black people. I'm gonna talk about, you know, Python and like and coding languages. Okay, so the hair one. I actually thought most of their jokes were funny.
Yeah, it wasn't unfun, but then I forget which judge pointed out at the end, but they were saying that like it just seemed that everyone was being mean, like, and just like really bogging down on Blair, but that's also their characters. Blair is that shy, demure, quiet girl who just kind of takes it, and Miss Cracker is the kind of loudmouth, obnoxious, little bit more in your face sort of thing. So like when you have those two characters together, that's just what's gonna happen.
I'm wondering if it was just brought down by the fact that all of them just went around being like, hi, I'm a wigaholic.
Yeah.
Cause like that wasn't that funny.
It wasn't funny. Rue was like walking between the teams. I'm like, hey, what are you guys gonna be doing? And I was like, oh, you know, we're just gonna be like a couple girls at brunch. And then they were just like, oh, we're not gonna have a moderator. We're just gonna be hanging out on stage.
No, you need a moderator. It's okay if the moderator is also a panelist, you know, also half panelist. But I think it's good just to give the audience like that sense of like structure.
Structure, exactly.
Because like, and you can stray from that structure, but it's good to have like one
person
Yeah,
to
one
like hold
panel.
it down. It was like, all right, guys, let's bring it back. Like
Right.
now, let's talk about next on our agenda. We have blah 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 blah. Like
I think what it boils down to is that like the shade was funny, the edit made it look unfunny, but the problem is that the shade probably took up too much time and we needed to convey more, right?
Exactly.
More.
if it was a panel on shade throwing, then they did great.
That would yeah.
But it's a panel on wigs, and just did not get enough.
That's
of
so
it.
funny because DragCon does have shade panels.
No way.
I mean, totally.
That's hilarious.
It's a comedy panel.
And then next we have
The runway.
the runway.
So Cameron was first.
I thought this was awesome. Like the moving pieces.
The moving pieces was great. I immediately got the Lady Gaga reference. I don't know if you did.
Been able to instinctively see it, but as soon as the reference was made, it's like, oh yes, Pix.
This was like way back before she wrote Fame Monster. This was during the Fame.
I see.
Monet Exchange.
I liked it, but I feel like I didn't get too much from the hat. I like the rest of it more than I like the hat. And if that's the case, doesn't that kind of ruin the point? Doesn't that kind of like take away from how this should be a headdress?
Yeah, I
challenge?
think that's the problem because it's so open to interpretation, right? It's like, do you want to simplify everything and just make it about the hat, or do you want to make it feel very cohesive with the rest of the outfit?
Right.
It's really up to interpretation, I think, for the girls.
Sure.
Eureka, what do you think? Okay.
I didn't love it when it first came out.
Uh-huh.
Asian bias. When she said samurai warrior, I was like, yo,
Listen.
hey, that's kind of cool. But then I started looking and I was like, but how? Like where?
No, see, that's exactly what I said. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, bitch, where? Where?
Exactly.
Samurais don't wear dog tooth print. Okay, what do you think of Aquarius?
Yeah, I think Aquarius' look here is great. Like the whole like top hat and the bunny coming out of it, the whole magic feel to it. I don't know if story's the right
No,
word,
it's a-
right
yeah,
word,
it's a
but
story.
there's a reference, and you can immediately tell what that reference is. Like, oh, I get it, right? She's a bunny. He's coming out of a top hat. Like, I get that.
Monique Hart.
The top, it looks like a party goodie bag, you know?
Yeah,
it looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
cheap
yeah,
goodie
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
And in the bottom, looks definitely more like shimmery and like maybe slightly more extravaganza. And like having that like next to each other, right? It's just that contrast does not work.
Yeah. Asia O'Hara.
Love it. This was awesome. I still don't know how that works, like the mechanics of what's going on
Yeah,
on her head. Like
That means that it's a well-constructed piece. Then, 'cause
I
you
know
can't
the
tell.
feat of engineering in this, like, and they're all moving too, right? It's not all just like stuck on there, or is it? No, it's
Yeah,
not.
it bounces.
It all bounces and everything.
It still feels a little bit disjointed, but like I can let it go because the hat.
It's so out of this world.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
What do you think of Miss Cracker?
I liked it. My in my hair lady, my fair lady.
Yeah.
Digging the pun. Okay, it is a hat, right? But it's styled to be
Right.
it's
like
supposed to
she cut up wigs to just wrap a hat.
like that concept. Conceptually, I think is super strong.
It's very strong.
As strong as the concept is, do you think the execution?
I think so. The only note that I have for this outfit is that I actually would have liked it if the hat was a little bit bigger.
Oh.
Like just to really like drama it up.
Even bigger? I mean, that's also because we're seeing her right after Asia, and Asia's hat.
That's true. Blair St Clair.
Is this the kind of size that you would like with Miss Cracker, like the bigger hat here?
I'd actually like that. Yeah.
I mean, I like the whole Southern Belle thing, I guess, but it almost seems a little too repetitive from like what we see from her, and it's just. And I mean, I get it, right? Like we keep on saying, that is her brand. That is what she knows she's good at, and I do want to see more versatility from her.
I think in the real world, Blair St. Clair will be fine, and she doesn't necessarily have to like diversify herself that much, because for the regular person, like you're not gonna see her that often that like it's okay if she wears like a similar theme,
Sure.
very demure, housewife type stuff. But I think just for the show, you unfortunately you do have to like show that you can branch out of that style, because like once you start becoming too unexpected, like you probably will go home.
The Vixen.
Yeah, the Vixen.
I didn't really like this one.
Okay.
To be honest, it just. I mean, again, conceptually, I get what you're doing, right? Because it's a hat thing, so you made your entire outfit out of hats.
From her bust up, it actually looks really cool.
Sure.
Thing is that for the bottom part, I can't tell whether or not it's a dress or if it's supposed to be like if it's supposed to be like a swimsuit. I think it would have been better if she took everything in over here and then like had more material billow out into a skirt.
That would, yeah. See, if I can already picture that, I would like that so much more. Before we even went into lip sync, that's when Blair tells us
about her trauma,
her trauma, right? And then seeing that solidarity between the queens, and like I think like some people were like tearing up in the back as well, and that made me root for Blair more during the lip sync.
Okay.
Having just heard that,
I totally respect it because I think you're just a more empathetic person than me. but for me, I was trying to be a little bit more, I don't want to say stone cold, but I was just trying
objective.
to be objective and was like, okay, like totally feel you, not trying to take away from your trauma. Like I can understand like how horrible that must be.
Sure.
But that doesn't help me root for you. That's not going to prompt me to like want you to stay.
Sure.
Because you did still not perform well.
That is true. That is true.
But I think this is a theme with you where like you hear someone's story, you start rooting.
I know. I'm just like.
But that's just because you're a nicer person than me.
Okay, so in the actual lip sync, sound of a trumpet.
Okay,
Vixen is using both hands. There are 3 valves in her trumpet. I play trumpet. And I'm just like, what are you doing? It's like the shitty air guitar again. It's like,
yeah,
why?
exactly.
Why?
Like, you don't think that Vixen gave a better performance though?
She did absolutely give a better performance, but like, I think we had talked about this before in other lip syncs. It almost feel like the queen that goes more crazy, more extra, more extravagant comes out on top. But yeah, so I guess that is the last we'll ever hear of I Do Declare, Blair St Clair.
Yeah. Andrew, where can the people find you in your work?
You guys can find me at Andrew Liu Music on all socials, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Thanks so much for watching again, and let us know what your thoughts are about the show, about Blair having to leave, about the panel challenge, and also let us know if you're going to be at RuPaul's Drag Con, because I'm actually trying to work something out with them currently, so to see if I can like bring you Jason and Leo there.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, cool. Thanks everybody. Bye.
See you next week.